3, 2, 1.
What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, August 7th, 2018. What in the world is going on today? We're going to get right into Litecoin price, Bitcoin price. We're going to look at what's going on, what to anticipate next. And before we do, I want to revisit some comments real quick. I posted on Twitter earlier, most recent comments on YouTube, here the haters come, because every time price goes down, this is what happens. But I want to point out this comment that says, I told you Litecoin would go further down. Your forecasts are so bad. So with that being said, let's take a look at this clip from March. And I don't know where that's going to take place. If that's going to be at like $80 or $50, I do not know. The manipulation is real, it's strong, so don't be surprised, just be ready for it. So there it is. I don't know if you'd say my forecasts are bad because I don't really make forecasts, but we definitely anticipate everything, and we've anticipated a $50 Litecoin for many, many months now. We didn't call it, but we anticipated it. We're ready for it because we knew it's a possibility. Same with the $3,000, $5,000 range on Bitcoin. We knew it's a possibility. Though I am long-term bullish, we gotta stay objective in this crazy, volatile, manipulated market. So that's what we were doing back in March, and even before then, we were talking about $50 Litecoin possibility. We're not even there yet. So let's jump into the charts and continue anticipating what will happen next so that we can continue making the best possible decisions for our portfolio. So let's start at Bitcoin. And what I want to do, I want to really paint the nice broad picture because it's on everybody's mind, right? How low are we going to go? And this isn't an exact formula, obviously, but for context and for help and clues in answering that question, how low, we can take historical data. Well, how low did we go in the last bear market, which was really ugly, by the way? How low did we go? Well, we went 85% on Bitcoin. And an 85% from previous all-time high on Bitcoin looks like and you can see the orange line here, a $3,000 Bitcoin. So that's one reason why we had that $3,000 to $5,000 channel. And that's a pretty large channel, but in a volatile market, not as large. It's why we had that channel as, a pretty solid area for a bottom in this bear market if things just keep getting worse, right? So right now we have some ways to go until then. Right now, Bitcoin trading at around $6,700. So from where we are right now to that $3,000 area, we still have 55% to go from where we are right now. So we're not there yet, right? We're not even in that channel yet. And we're gonna take a deeper look into Bitcoin right now, and we're gonna look at the daily support that we might have before going any lower. But before we do, we looked at Bitcoin, right? We saw this 85% downturn in this bear market a few years ago, and we used that for clues. Well, the question is, if you're a Litecoin holder, what does Litecoin look like, right? Where's Litecoin gonna find a bottom? We did talk about $50 Litecoin many times. I get commenters all the time that are waiting for a $20 Litecoin. But let's look at the bear market for Litecoin. So 85% for Bitcoin, and in that same time range, we're looking at around a 98% for Litecoin. Now, I'm not saying that, first off, I'm not saying we'll see 85% from all-time highs down for Bitcoin. And I'm definitely not saying we'll see 98% down from Litecoin previous all-time highs. I don't think that will happen. That would bring us to like an $8 Litecoin. Is it possible? Like we always say, everything's possible, right, in this market. But I don't think that will happen. Litecoin has way too much going for it right now in terms of adoption. The cryptocurrency space as a whole, right, has so much going for it. Everything that's happening right now is manipulation. When we get a bounce off of lows, I don't know if it's now, I don't know if it's in a month, and volume comes in, it is going to go crazy, in my opinion. And we're going to have a bounce almost like probably we've never seen before because of what's going on right now. All the news, the bullish news, the foundation being set for cryptocurrency and its adoption, and Litecoin is included in that. You can go to the Litecoin Foundation YouTube channel. We've done so many videos over there on everything going on, like SegWit just had its anniversary, the Gemini exchange listing, Abra News, Token Pay, HTC most recently. There's so much Litecoin is doing right now in cryptocurrency space more than almost anybody else, and it's insane. So Litecoin, yes, right now $68, and it's pretty low, right? I mean, not long ago we were at like a $300 Litecoin. Now it's at $68. But I just want to point to the technology, the innovation. I want to point to the movement. I want to point to adoption. It's more than price right now. There's a lot of manipulation going on, and right now, especially on a down day like this, there's definitely a lot of emotion involved as well. But really, with that being, the framework of what we're talking about right now in this video, and I use that word a lot, framework. I need to find a new word. I do want to talk about Bitcoin. I want to talk about where's Bitcoin support, because that's extremely important right now, especially in context to Litecoin. Obviously, Litecoin looking for support as well, but it's going to do it on the back of Bitcoin, and it's going to do it more volatile, right? So right now, Litecoin down 5%, Bitcoin down 2.5%. So Litecoin's just kind of all over the place. If you go look at the chart, and here's Litecoin on the daily chart, and you can actually even see it. 85% from all-time high on Litecoin brings us right to around a little bit over a $50 Litecoin. So that just gives you some context. But obviously, Litecoin breaking this little support area that many kind of see in that triple bottom area, right? So right there. But really, from a technical standpoint right now, with this market moving the way it is, that doesn't mean as much, because right now what's very important to watch is Bitcoin. And we're going to look at Bitcoin right now. So Bitcoin on the daily, we've been tracking this. We've been tracking this pretty closely from recent highs up here. I did a video around $8,100, and we called for this pullback, right? We called for this potential pullback because we said in a pullback scenario, what might be brewing, and it could be a bullish scenario. So though it's a red day, we could see some bullish moves in the coming days. So what would that look like? That simply looks like a reverse head and shoulders forming on the weekly. So right now we have the support channel, which we're going to dive into on the daily. I'm going to talk about that in case you haven't seen it, and we're going to look at it. But possibly a bounce off this channel to break through, and this is pretty bad drawing, but to break through this neckline on the inverse head and shoulders for maybe a run up at previous lower highs. So let's look at the daily. Let's kind of get a picture of what this looks like. So what we did was, and I'll erase this Fibonacci just so you can see, we took the Fibonacci, which we've been using more often as of recently. We took it from this previous low to this previous swing high, right around there, and we got our channel. It's that 618 to 786 channel we talk about often, especially in the last couple of weeks. We've talked about it. And there we are. You can see we've been tracking it very closely since, probably above the 50, probably since we were trading above this 50 EMA right there. You see that blue line. We were trading above it, and we were calling for the 618 to 786 channel right here to show support if we broke below the 50 EMA. So of course we broke through the 50 EMA on the daily, and now we're in the channel right now as I do this video. Bitcoin trading at 67.90, and we need support at this channel. It's as simple as that. If we don't get support at this channel, then we can really start talking about this downward move progressing further, breaking these previous lows. But right now, before we get to that area, I really want to watch this support. I want to see what happens in the next day or so, because I imagine we're going to find support or not in the next day or so. Hopefully it doesn't drag on too long. But if we see support, what we want to see is a nice little burst in volume, and this can be an extremely bullish play for Bitcoin. So we are obviously in the woods. We're down, right? It's been a pretty rough last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's been a pretty rough 10 days from that previous swing high. And now here we are. We are at a very critical area of support that Bitcoin needs to hold and bounce off of. If we get a bounce here on the daily, we can zoom out and kind of just get a nice clear picture of what that looks like. It's going to look like just Bitcoin always looks like, right? It's going to look just the same. Crazy pullback, everybody's depressed, bounce off. Crazy pullback, bounce off. And you can say the same thing even in the bear market that we were in. crazy pullback, bounce up, right? Crazy pullback, bounce up. It's going to look like that. So if we get the support at this channel, the 618 down to the 786 right here, if we get support, and now I'm on the 4-hour chart, if we get support here, you can expect a nice bounce. What to look for at a bounce if we get it? You'd want to look for, and you'd want to be very careful not to FOMO in here, because we could easily get, 15% gains or something, right? We can get a nice 15% gain, 15% bounce, and let's go to the bottom of the channel for this example, and then we can start seeing some resistance, right? It can be a very short-term bounce. It doesn't mean we're going to the moon and breaking previous lower highs, which it's in play, but you want to be careful. You don't want to FOMO in and get stuck buying 10% up, and then we're getting a bounce back down to make new lows. So it's what to anticipate right now. What to look for is you want to look for volume. You want to look for volume increasing, and if you really want to look for, exiting this bear market, well, we really have to make a run to this previous lower high. We need to break those areas. I know $8,400 sounds like a lot. It seems very far away, but it can come quick. It can come quicker than most would realize. So anticipate that, be ready for it, but let's see if this channel of support holds. And then if it doesn't hold, be prepared on the downside. I can't stress enough. Evaluate your portfolio. We've been saying that since we started the channel, which is why I showed that clip from March where, Litecoin's above $100, and I'm talking about a possible $50 Litecoin. Why was I doing that? Because it's possible. And if you can just evaluate your portfolio and where you are, and actually somebody just tweeted a great tweet, and I retweeted it. Crypto Keeper said, Litecoin fam, we talked about this last night, a $65 Litecoin and a $6,200 Bitcoin isn't a bad drop. Join the conversations on YouTube at Crypto Capital Venture and subscribe to get notifications, and always be prepared and anticipate your next move. Crypto Keeper, I really appreciate that shout out, first of all. But second of all, you're right. That's what we do. We anticipate. We're going to continue anticipating, and it just helps us make the best decisions possible. So let's see if Bitcoin holds this channel at support. Let's see if we get a bounce. Only time will tell. We have to be patient, make the best moves, make the best decisions we possibly can. Let me know how you're making out in this down market. I really hope you're doing well. As always, I will see you in the next video, and God bless.